Hey, welcome everybody. It's Matt here with FCC Supporter Square, the show for fans, by fans, and about fans, here at the glorious, wonderful podcast patio once again. Sadly, my two co-hosts, one has to work. As we always say, life gets in the way. So he's on call. He can't get away. The other one is still sobering up from going to watch the Bengals game in Green Bay. So Boston, hopefully you made it home and you can find your home. That'd be great. But with me here, this is a special edition. We have a playoff preview episode. We have two people from the brigade. We have our capo, Andrew McCormick.
Hey, Matt, thanks for having me. Always happy to fill in the absence of your regular hosts.
I believe it's an upgrade. Also with me from the brigade, America's favorite mid-sized compact, ladies and gentlemen, Rusty Thomas.
It's not even the worst thing I've been called today. Thanks, Matt.
Well, I could make it worse if you want. The three of us usually hang out at Sam Adams and do something like this. This is probably what we would be doing before the Montreal game. So usually in the format like this, we talk about the last game and then in the upcoming game. But we know that we've secured a home playoff game. We have one more game for decision day. So we're going to talk about the playoffs, who we might play, and see where we land according to the FCC supporter extravaganza. So first up, we do have Montreal. I would like to just gloss over it, but after some discussions, I guess we'll have a little discussion on Montreal and where that stands. Currently, we are in second place. We're tied with Inter Miami. A win by FC Cincinnati secures second place, but we can't fall any further than third. So we're either second or third. We are hosting the first game in the playoffs. Currently, it's Orlando, but Orlando, Chicago, and Columbus are all close enough that if somebody stumbles, we could end up in second place with Orlando or Chicago or Columbus, for that matter. So we'll talk about those ramifications and what you think will happen in the Montreal game. So, Rusty, what do you think? Do you think we're going to play our starters? Are we gonna go for it hard and try to win that game?
Are our starters healthy? I think that's the big thing. I want to get through playing club to foot without getting anyone else injured, so we can go on to a playoff run. I said from the beginning, the only thing I cared about this year was an MLS Cup. I didn't care about Champions Cup. I didn't care about Open Cup. I didn't care about any other competition. I want an MLS Cup. I want the star above my shield. So are we going to play stars? I think we'll see some. I don't know that we'll see them all because I don't know that we're healthy and ready to go with them all. I would like to, I like to see Obi get back involved, get some minutes in just to get him loose. I'd like to see Kubo get in and get some minutes to see him get loose because it has been a while since they've played. I understand Miazga's hurt again, so we're not going to see him. And with the news today coming out about Ender being injured in Venezuelan camp, who knows where he's at, if he'll be available. So we're going to see some young players also, but I would like to see at least some of the starters get out there and see what we can do, because it is somewhat important. I don't want to play Columbus. I don't want to really play Orlando. I would like to to see what we have and get some experience there.
Well, speaking of cups, I just heard that we did manage our own spot in the Champions Cup again. So we'll be going to some Central American country in late January. Hopefully we're not getting another 9 and 10 to work in. But that was official. And I'm with you. I think the only thing I want is a star. I think that's what most people want. It was sad. We had an opportunity to win the Shield. It was a bad performance against that team. If we beat Philadelphia, then it's reversed.
Yeah, you live with that for a while, don't you? I mean, it comes down to those games against Philadelphia, both of which you lost, both in heartbreaking fashion for different reasons, but that's going to sting for a little bit knowing that you were that close. But do you want that Supporter Shield curse, right? You want the cup.
Exactly. I mean, the year that we won the Shield, We were holding that over Columbus, and then we all know what happened at the.
Well, historically, you don't win the Shield and win the Cup. It doesn't happen that often. It's a very small percentage that do that. So, do I want the Shield? No, I want the Cup.
Now, don't get me wrong. I would love to win both of them in one year. I would love to prove, the curses and the statistics and the history, to be wrong. But yeah, I mean, it's, obviously we value the playoffs, the MLS Cup. Say whatever you want. We value the Cup more so than the Shield or really anything else. And that just comes down to, like in any American sport, it just comes down to being hot at the end, having your players healthy and ready to go. And hopefully we can kind of get there. I mean, we're rocking 5 injuries right now, was it? And we've got a week and a half at time of recording until we start the playoffs. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so that's and we're going to get into some of the injuries and whatnot. Like I said, Orlando is currently 7th. Let's see if I got to look at my points here. So Orlando is 1 point ahead of Chicago and 2 points ahead of Columbus. And I think Chicago plays on the road against New England, and I'm not sure Columbus plays at home. I'm not sure who Orlando plays. So any one of those 3 teams could end up in that. And given how we play, even we play all of our starters or not at all, we may end up in 3rd. And actually, if Nashville loses and Orlando wins, they could jump Nashville and they could jump up to 6. So
it's all wide open.
It's all just wide open. And we're going to try to cover that and say our best guess of who we think we're going to see as our first playoff, though. But we won't know until after Montreal. So how worried are you, Andrew, about the injury, since you brought that up? There are 5, and I think we decided it was Engel and Janike. I mean, not we, they were telling us. But it's Engel and Janike, Miazga, who else am I missing? Orishano and some Brad Smith.
Yeah, Brad Smith.
All right. So I don't know if we can continue on without Brad
it's
Smith.
A crippling, debilitating injury. I don't know how you overcome.
He's still on the team.
Brad Smith. I'm pretty sure Brad Smith wouldn't be on the team if he were healthy.
When you list those injuries, you go, okay, well, and Ender is injured. Maybe we could put Orshon. Oh, he's injured too. We don't have any wingbacks. Well, we could put Engel. Oh, so we have 3 wingbacks that are injured going into the Montreal game, and it's important that we play well, and it's important if we want to keep second place. I think it's important only. Second place is important only if we go to Philadelphia. Let's just if that wins out. Let's just say the seeds hold as they would, and we somehow beat Philadelphia. We would be in line, could be in line to host the MLS Cup.
Disagree with you a minute there.
Sure.
If Miami stays 3rd, if they would jump us and then we wind up with a 2-3 game in Miami, I don't want to see that.
No.
I would rather hold 2nd and make Miami come here and hope for snow than jump down to Miami and play and
hope for snow.
Well, it's Miami. Come on.
Yeah, they're still just like us. They're kind of put together with chicken wire and duct tape. They're kind of trying to. They played so many games, and that's the thing that we looked at, and that's why we're here at 2nd. I would prefer to hold 2nd, giving us a chance to have the MLS Cup. Because we don't know what's going on the West. I haven't paid too much attention, but Vancouver's been going crazy. LAFC, since Sun has joined, has been going crazy. It seems like hat trick fest over there in LAFC land, but they lost to Austin. So who knows? But
well, that's kind of the trouble with the West right now too. Is you want to hold 2nd place in the East for sure to maintain that home field advantage as long as you can. But in my limited research that I did, I think that I saw we could fall in the overall league standings with a loss. We could fall as far as to 6th place behind 3 Western Conference teams. So I really want to try to maintain our current standing because, if we do get as far as the MLS Cup, I want that in Cincinnati. I don't want to have to go out to Los Angeles or San Diego or whatever, Vancouver. Yeah, those are the...
Get your passports ready. So, or even San Diego for that matter. But we don't really talk about the West here, so it doesn't really matter. We're really focused on the East, and particularly us. So given what we have in our delicate position, do you see us playing our starters, Andrew? And do you see us winning?
In Montreal, or against Montreal,
Yes.
You mean? It's just so hard to say because I do think it's important to maintain our current spot, right? But also, as we discussed, there's a handful of injuries. I don't think you necessarily want to run any of those guys out and worsen those injuries. You probably don't want to risk an injury because the playoffs kick off 1 week after decision day, right? You don't have a whole lot of waiting around to do where you can heal those guys up if need be. Speaking of waiting around, on the other side though, we just took a week off for international break. How much time do you want these guys to sit on the bench before the playoffs? So I think that you probably see the starters come in a little bit, definitely a rotation, but it's not going to be, I don't think we're going to go all in. We're not going to completely sit it out. It's going to be similar to those, Leagues Cup games that we had where you see us, make an honest effort, and if it seems within reach, then you probably really go for it in the end. That's just my guess. It's really hard to say what the coaching staff thinks and how they value all that, but whatever the case, this whole conversation comes down to it's Montreal.
Right.
Put the FCC2 guys out there, and we should be able to at least get a result here. But
Did Montreal beat Charlotte? I think they did. I can't remember. Yeah, they've been playing a little better. So, given our injuries, particularly at wingback, who do we play at those positions?
Back, right? Well, you still have Marzuk. And I hate to say it, but it's probably Alvis, right? Like he would be the next up.
and then you're looking at inverting.
And you're looking
guys,
right.
Well, who's going to be in the back three? So it would be Hagelin, Robinson, and Hadebe.
Robinson going to be back?
I think he is.
He's not back yet. They play tonight.
Yeah, no, I think they're expecting him back after.
If he'll be back and playing, yeah, you're going to have Robinson, Hagelin, and probably Hadebe.
Yeah, that's what I would.
It's gotta be, right?
Yeah, I don't think Flores has not been getting a lot of time of late. So
I don't know when the last time I saw Flores was.
Would you put Yuya Kubo as a wing back?
Well, that is. But he's played that before,
played,
right?
Where hasn't he?
Yuya Kubo has been out so much this year. I kind of just, in my mind, I kind of forgot he was sitting there. So I mean,
well, okay. Yeah, it's a possibility. I mean, it's a possibility.
I would say it's probably Alvis Powell because he's a little bit faster, and it gives some flexibility if we need to chase the game to bring Kubo in.
Well, and I think Kubo's going to be limited because he hasn't played in a while, and he is coming off an injury. They're going to limit his minutes.
Right.
So he makes more sense to me coming off on a 60-minute sub, 70-minute sub than he does playing.
So would you play, would either of you feel comfortable playing Datto instead of Evander, at least for the first half?
No, but I played Datto in a 6.
Instead of Buka?
Give him, or Nunga.
I would probably put, if we can get Obi to play.
Absolutely.
These are the fun ones because this is the last game of the season, and it matters a bit, but not as much of whether we're going to make it or not, or home or not. Would you put Anunga as the 6 and put Obi in as the destroyer? Put them both on the pitch at the same time, or right? But Anunga's not going to pass. That's a defensive.
Well, I think
piece.
I think Anunga is Obi light, right? I think they play the same style, they do the same thing, they take up the same space. The way it works is with Buka kind of being the counter to that, the more disciplined, more going forward type of flair. If you don't have Buka out there, you've got to have someone fill that role to take that ball forward.
Right.
Who is that?
But it is Montreal.
They're still professional though. Any team can beat any team.
That's true.
Ball bounces funny or a bad touch. I mean, we've seen it time and time again, ball go in our net that shouldn't have happened.
So you'd put Kubo at the 6 and then split time with. Would you want to start Buka and then put Kubo in at like the 50th minute or something like that?
I would start Buka. I would start Anunga. I would start Evander. I would start Brenner. Dimke is not here, so somebody's going to take that spot.
It's my understanding that everybody will be here and ready to go by Saturday as far as the international.
And you're already
pieces.
on Tuesday, though. You're coming in without training and without movement. I don't know. I hope he is. I don't want to sound like I hope he is, right?
Yes.
Because I don't think anybody's a patsy in this league. And yes, it is Montreal, and the results haven't been great, but they have been getting better. I mean, that's kind of the other side of the coin here. And how many times have we seen us play down to our competition this season to let a Montreal sneak a goal in, and we don't respond?
Right.
So I would start everybody we can. Does that answer your question?
Okay. Yes. Okay. That's probably what we should do. I prefer to hold on to second place, and because it's decision day, I don't know if they'll have anybody watching the Inter Miami game to see if they're winning. If they score a goal, maybe we stick with a plan. But if Orlando Miami goes down a goal or two, maybe they can start doing some subs based off of that. But that's why that's the only thing I think MLS really gets right is decision day. You look at like American football, and some are playing on Thursday, or some players Saturday, and they're playing Sunday. The last game of the year is also Monday, I think. I can't remember if they have played Monday the last week, but they seem like they played 3 or 4 different days and times. And if this team wins, then I'm going to put out my third stringers, and if they lose, then I'm going to have to play these guys, right? Those games can't be played when everybody plays at the same time, and I think that's great. And watching the MLS 360 of if you weren't at the game, just seeing all the different goals and how things change is very exciting as a fan to watch. So looking at our table, we're second, as we talked about, Orlando, Chicago, and Columbus. Of the 3, Chicago, Orlando, or Columbus, which of those 3 do you want to play?
Which one do I want to play?
Yes.
I mean,
okay, which one do you want to play, and which one do you think you'll play?
Okay, I can't even venture a guess as to who I think will play, because those teams are so tightly packed right now. Anything in the world could happen. I mean, we're lined up to play Orlando as it stands, and whether we stay second or drop down to third, I mean, those guys could all jumble their positions up beyond recognition by the end of decision day. So I don't know who I think we will play. Who I would prefer to play, I guess, would probably be, it's got to be Orlando. I mean, I'll be that guy. I do not want a 3-part Hell is Real. I really don't. I mean, and Chicago, I mean, hey, they're something else right now, aren't they? I mean, Berhalter's really got them looking scary.
They're my sleeper team. They are, as you were saying, is that this playoffs is all about who's being hot at what time, and Chicago is playing with confidence. Who knew that Andrew Gutman would be the fire plug that they needed to get this thing going, because they've been a different team. I watched them play that team up north and just soundly thrash them. So it's right. We don't even know who's going to be in the play-in game yet to say this. So yeah, I was just looking at this. If Nashville wins and New York City loses, or Charlotte, Nashville can go anywhere from 6th to 4th. So there's a lot of things. So we'll talk about where we think things are. So who do you want to play, and who do you think you're going to play?
Who do I want to play? I'm going to say this cautiously. I'm going to agree with Andrew and say probably Orlando, recognizing the fact they just beat us not too long ago.
It was a tie.
It was a tie. Sorry, it felt like
a loss.
It felt like a loss. Only because I agree. I don't want to play Columbus. Not running from them, but there's no reason to go through that in a 3-game series if you can avoid it.
That team is running into all kinds of injuries up there. I don't even think they're going to get out of ninth. I think the other 2 teams have easier games, although Columbus does have a home game, and they just somehow they're like the in American football, the Patriots. It just the team you're like, oh good, finally they're dead, and then they're not. Or the Steelers. They're always dead and then they're not.
I'm going to take a kind of counter opinion. I don't know that it matters who we play as much as how we play, if that makes sense. I know I'm sounding like a coach here. It's coach speak, I guess. But, every team in the playoff has some positive sides to them. They're good teams. That's why they're there. It doesn't matter who it is, right? Let's face it. I don't want to play NYCFC. I don't want to play Columbus. I don't want to play Chicago. I don't want to play Orlando. I don't want to play Charlotte. Okay, who's left, right? Like Philadelphia. Oh, okay.
We're going to have to play with one of those teams if we continue
exactly. That's
on.
what I'm saying. But it's going to come down to how we play, and I think our tactics and our movement and our health. And if Noonan can beat sort of the quick reputation he's gotten for not being able to win big games, and see if we can come out of it.
I think it's all of this is mightily intriguing. I'm going to ask another difficult question to you guys, both of you guys. Given our record this year at home, are you concerned about having a home playoff game, particularly with our record on the road?
I mean, that's a tough one, right? Because how much do you consider, the home versus away a real thing when you're not winning at home? I mean, you should win at home. That's where you have the fan support. Are you going to argue that they do better with their backs against the wall? I mean, I don't know. I just chalk that up to weird coincidence more than anything. I would prefer to be at home every match. I think that's where we, have our best chance, even if the numbers don't necessarily reflect that on the, how the season, unfolded this year. I think the biggest, issue going into it is just, like Rusty was saying, it's going to be how we play, because I don't know. I don't. It's the culmination of this year, right? Like, we've seen this team so many times, and I feel like that's just where it's hurt us. Is we've seen it at home so many times where they get the 1-goal lead and then they retreat in on themselves and they don't chase down, a second goal or try to put anybody away. And you see, if you don't see the late equalizer or go-ahead goal from the other side, then you're still sitting there biting your nails, for 60 or 70 minutes. I know I got kind of off track there. I want to play it all at home. I mean, TQL Stadium, best environment in all of, Major League Soccer. Anybody who says different can fight me outside the stadium.
Catch me outside.
I'm about Rusty-sized, wearing Rusty's clothes.
So Rusty, do you think there's some kind of mental block with this team playing at home, or is it just the luck of the draw, or just how we play? And
I'm going to give you a long attorney answer, I think, to this question. First of all, the short answer is no, I want to play at home. You're sleeping in your own beds. You're eating your own meals. You know where things are. There's a comfortability factor as a player going into it. That's just something you don't have to worry about. Whereas if you're on the road, you do have to worry about that. Bed's too hard. Roommates making too much noise. Whatever it may be.
Yeah, Andrew, keep it down.
But I want to play at home. But let's recognize the fact that the team that we had in the beginning of this year is not the team we have now. Massive turnover, massive playing differences in styles and movements. So yes, we did not have a great home record this year, but break that down to when we had the moving parts coming in and out and who was hurt here and who wasn't. I think that's more of a product of what was going on during the course of the season than necessarily how this team gelled and played at home. So, but I want to play at home, especially in a playoff. Give me home where I know where I'm at, I know where my comfortability is. Make it easier on our players to do what they do.
I think that goes to the entire season where we've been plugging people in and out and in and out. I don't think anybody in the league knows how well we can play. I don't even think we've never hit our peak. I said at the beginning of the season that it was going to take some time to gel. And then just as we were gelling, we started getting some injuries, and we got some people back from injuries and then back on from injuries. And losing Obi was a huge blow for our offense. The summer window, again, we waited till almost the last day of the summer window to get those to get those guys in. The surprise Brenner, and he wants to be here. He's shown flashes of brilliance, but do we have enough time to have everybody gel? At this point, I'd say we have enough games and enough time and enough people playing. When do you see us playing our best ball?
What's the date for the conference finals?
Let's hope that's where it is.
Well, that's how your answer has to be. We haven't seen it yet. We're not going to see it until everyone does get together and that chemistry is fortified. Unfortunately, the summer window with MLS comes so late, it's hard to get games and with people who come in. It's hard to get that comfortability because there is no preseason and the build up to it. So the more games they play, the better they're going to get, right?
Yeah.
So you got to think the longer we're in the playoffs, the better the run goes, the better we become as well. At least that's what you hope for.
Ender came in the summer window and has made a huge impact. We didn't think we needed an upgrade with Orishano, and again, that's why we have a front office, because they know what's going on and we don't. I'm glad they get paid the bucks, because I think we all would have missed that one, because he's been a huge impact. So we've all agreed that we'll likely play Orlando. I think we've all agreed more or less that we're going to win, or at least hold on to second. Speak up if you disagree. Yeah. All right. So with that being said, we would be playing Orlando at home. I'm going to say let's just keep it simple. It's the top four is still the same. Philadelphia's first, we're second. Miami's third. Charlotte's fourth. New York City is fifth. Nashville is sixth, which, by the way, Inter Miami plays Nashville in Nashville. So Nashville wants to win that game to possibly jump up and get a home game. In Miami, who knows what they're going to do. So there are going to be some surprises. So we're guessing here, but we're just going to keep it as is. Nashville 6th, Orlando 7th, 8-9. So let's quickly go through this. The one-game playoff in Chicago, Columbus versus Chicago. They just played about 2 weeks ago, and Chicago beat them pretty handily. Who wins that game?
That's got to be Chicago, right? I mean, we're not playing them. We're not playing Columbus, so I expect them to play like Columbus has played for the bulk of this, this season, and they'll fall to Chicago as expected, I think.
Rusty?
Before FC Cincinnati existed, I was a Chicago Fire fan. And I've actually watched them play in Chicago. Having said all of that, I think Columbus is going to beat Chicago. I think Nancy's going to pull it out. I think the way he approaches things gets his players fired up to do things. I think Columbus will pull it out.
You're wrong.
I hate saying it, but I think Columbus will win it.
I also have seen Chicago play earlier this year, and they had moments of brilliance. I think Berhalter, I feel this stuff in my throat every time I say Berhalter, for obvious reasons. But he's got those guys playing, and they're a bunch of young guys, right? And that's kind of where he can mold. We'll see what he does 3 years on, but now he's got these guys playing. So, since you said Chicago, the 2-1 verdict, and this is why we're doing this, so you guys can have your own arguments with us or your fans when we're talking about this. So Chicago wins 2-1. By a late goal by Andrew Gutman, so that leaves us with the 1-8 matchup. But we'll get to the 2-7 matchup of Cincinnati and Orlando. We beat Orlando
Down
there, and a late equalizer felt like a loss because that was an extra time. That was almost at the death. Right. Almost what we did to Portland.
Right.
And that's the way football gods work. That's how this stuff always rolls. Didn't we pull Miazga out prior to that goal?
We had pulled a bunch of people out.
Yeah. So anyhow, so the first game's at home. Who wins that?
In game one, if we're facing Orlando, I think it's got to be FC Cincinnati, right? I mean, this team on paper and I hate saying that on paper because the game's played on the field, but on paper, you know, this team is probably the best in the East, right? I mean, you know, the results haven't quite matched up to that, obviously, but we know what FC Cincinnati has. We know that, you know, it's time to pull it together and make a run, and I think that they, you know, handle their business and they take care of Orlando, who they already have taken care of once this year and very nearly took care of a second time this year. I think they handle it at home and force, you know, a game to, you know, a potential clinching scenario there.
Who wins game one? Orlando.
Oh,
FC.
FC Cincinnati does.
Yeah, I think with the playoffs on the line, really on the line, the crowd gets really into it. It's beginning. The last couple of home games are beginning to turn into playoff games. People are beginning to take it seriously. But once the playoffs actually hit, then crowd gets louder. The Bailey gets wilder. I think that's a win. Game two, but before we go to game two, we're going to call it a win and not a PK kick. So before we get into this, because of the 3-game format, best 2 of 3, not most points as everywhere else on the planet, we have to go best wins and their PKs immediately after stoppage time. No extra time, no nothing. We go to PKs. Do we have the PK? Do we have the takers to win a shootout? And 2, who are our starting 5 shot takers?
Starting 5 shot takers. I mean, that's the 2 of you will have a better you know, guess at what that would be than I do. I'm a vibes guy. I'm not a facts guy.
Dude.
Vibes alone. I mean, and this is in no particular order because I know you shake it up a little bit, but I mean Evander, of course, and Kevin Danke and Brenner. And then beyond that, you're probably looking at Orishano, I would assume. And this is, I mean, they have to be on the field still, so that also comes into play. But if you have your choice of it, then it's going to be, you know, who I said, Evander, Danke, Brenner, Orishano. Number 5, I mean, you're probably looking at, let me think here.
Buka. Yeah.
I was gonna say it's not gonna be like Geedy or Anuga or you know.
Fun fact at the Leagues Cup, we had Evander was the one who missed. He missed the PK that sunk our chances for. But that's not we care about Leagues Cup at all. But
that's why I would let him do it again, because he's not going to want to make that mistake twice.
Danke, I don't know how he does it, but that whole stutter step just scares the life out of me because it always looks like he's going to shank it and it just goes inside the post. So he knows what he's doing.
It always looks like he's going to get called out on an illegal, you know, penalty kick motion there.
Yeah. So that's the fun part. So we have game 1, and I think it's going to be a straight up victory. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be PKs. Then we go back to Orlando, whenever that is, a week, 4 days later. What do you see there? Do you see a lot of people in Orlando coming out for that game?
Yeah, I think there will be. I mean, Orlando has fairly decent attendance this year. Now, I mean, it's 17,000, but, you know, yeah, I think they'll come out for that game.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they'll show up. It's the playoff. I mean, it's, you know, you factor in when we play it because these games take place on, a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, right? I mean,
yeah.
But, I mean, regardless, I think that, you know, they show up for that game. They make it loud and interesting for, you know, our guys out there. I think that we probably I think we take that game, and I'm not going to like it because as horrific as it may be to, you know, my mental state and my wallet, I do want game 3 just because there's already a baked-in week off, right, after this first round. So if you win the series in game 2, you guys are sitting on the bench for 2 weeks until the next playoff game. Hate that, but...
Well, with the injuries we have, we can take all the time that we can off. Do we win game 2, Rusty?
I think this is a PK game. I think this is a 1-1, 0-0, you know, and then go to PKs and see who can win that. So I don't know, you know.
Quit looking at my brain, man. That's exactly what I was thinking was a PK.
I think that's a PK game. We can win that. We have the ability to win that. Is the pressure going to get to them?
Well, the question is,
are we going to win that?
are we going to win it? Yes, we all have the capability.
I would like to think we would to actually win 1 and 2, because last year was not 2. I don't believe the year before was 2. I'd like to win 1 and 2.
I think it's one of the teams that we can close out pretty handily if we put our minds to it. I think it was a mental lapse. I don't think that's something that this team wants to do against that team.
Right.
And certainly we had mental lapse against other teams, but that team especially, I think they want to close them out and close them out quickly. So let's just say that we win that one. So that gives us let's go with the 4-5 of Charlotte and New York City. We're not going to go through all 3 games. Just who do you? Again, this is the fun part of doing a podcast before they play the games, because it may not even be them. But let's just, for the sake of argument here, 4-5, Charlotte, New York City.
I think NYCFC wins. I think Charlotte is a solid team, but I think very much when teams play Charlotte, they tend to play down to Charlotte's level rather than Charlotte playing up to theirs. I think NYCFC, especially on that stupid field they play on, has an advantage, and I think NYCFC wins.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I'm never going to take NYCFC out of, a 3-game, set. I mean, you saw them do it to us last year. They're a frustrating team for anybody to play with the famous and super classy style of soccer that they employ up there. And, like Rusty said, it's, you're playing them in 3 games, so you're forced to go, play at Yankee Stadium. Or, I guess, are the Yankees still... Did
No,
they get
they're
eliminated?
out.
Okay, well, good. So there's no scenario where this professional soccer team, this top division American soccer team, is going to have to play on their backup baseball field. So that's good. Either way, you have to go play on a baseball field in 1 game, and that just sucks. So yeah, I'll give it to New York City on that series.
Wait, it gets better, because this is what I said some time ago, probably in the middle of the season, is that our Mercy Health Training Center needs a AstroTurf field and a baseball diamond to practice on, because they don't do that. So Charlotte plays on an NFL football field. That ball bounces like crazy. That's why we have such a hard time playing Charlotte. It's not that they're a better team, that we're not used to playing on that surface. So now you've got guys playing on literally mud and grass, an infield the size of a postage stamp, versus an NFL football that bounces over their heads. It's going to be one exciting matchup of stupid proportions as far as I'm concerned. So you say NYC and you're saying NYC? Yeah. So it doesn't matter what I say.
You're overruled.
I'm overruled, which is fine. That's what we're here for. So we have that as the 4-5. The 3-6 would be Miami and Nashville. So Miami and Nashville play Decision Day in Nashville. So this could have some interesting implications. I believe Nashville beat Inter Miami earlier this year. So in Miami.
They did.
Who's the victor in that round?
I mean, you got to go with Miami. You got to. I mean,
Apple's not going to let Miami lose first round. Again,
I'm overruled. I think you guys are wrong. I think Inter Miami's old and tired, and I think it depends on who. Okay, I think it may depend. It depends
on Surridge, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it comes down to.
He's having an incredible year.
If Surridge can continue his run, they have a shot. If they can stop Surridge, Nashville's done. It's really that simple.
Wait, Miami has the defense?
No, but that doesn't mean they're not going to foul you on your way in, right?
Yeah. Somebody's going to bite him on the ear.
They're all retiring after this year.
All right, so against my objections, you're going to pick Inter Miami as the first round. So that gives us the 1-8 of. We said Chicago. I know I overruled you. So it's Philadelphia, Chicago. That should be a pretty interesting matchup.
It's going to be my hot take. Chicago takes it. Ooh. I think Chicago takes that. Really, I mean, again, no facts, all vibes, but I think Philadelphia gets exposed by
The rule of hot clubs.
I mean, that's what it is, right? I mean, granted, Philadelphia, they're also, playing well. They've had to lock down the supporter shield, but again, all vibes, all right?
Hey, that's what we're here for.
I think Chicago's hot, all right? I think Philly is rocking that curse, the weight on their shoulders of the supporter shield, the mental anxiety that comes with, trying to lock down both of those trophies. I mean, I think they fall in a 3-game set to Chicago.
Rusty.
I hope, selfishly, that Philly wins, because I think we can beat Philly. So I want to see Philly in a conference championship. But having said that, yeah, I still think Philly wins. I don't trust Bernharder. I'm sorry.
Man.
I don't.
I love your vibes and I love your reality. So I don't know if I want to live in reality world. Okay. Damn it. Okay, I'll take Philadelphia. Although I think Chicago, in my heart, I believe Chicago is going to win that too. I don't think it's a hot take like yours, but vibe check, the young kids. I honestly all year was waiting for Philadelphia to fall back down, because you look at them and they're not LAFC, they're not Vancouver, they're not us. And yet they just keep winning.
And I'll tell you the biggest reason, though, as a lifelong fan of Cincinnati sports, the biggest reason that Philadelphia needs to get embarrassed in that first round of the playoffs is because if they advance, God forbid they actually go and win the cup, do you know how many owners are going to sit back and say, well, you see what they did with the least payroll in the league. We don't have to spend money anymore. And as a lifelong Cincinnati fan I know that, Bob Castellini and Mike Brown are just waiting for the excuse to never spend money. I don't want that for anybody. I want the team that didn't invest to not make it. Sorry, Philadelphia.
I agree with that, but as bad as that kind of ownership is, their academy is one of the best in the world. I mean, all the people that are coming, the amount of talent that comes out of that, they play them for a year and sell them to either another MLS team or a European team. They're making stupid money, and they could care less about that. So I feel you.
Can I reframe it a little bit?
Sure.
And yes, Philly won the Supporters Shield, right? Had we not dropped points when we dropped points, we're there.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. How much did Philly win it, or did we give it away? And not just us.
That.
I mean, how much did we screw up in our individual games due to injury, due to people being out, whatever it may be?
Oh, yeah.
That allowed them the opportunity to take that.
There were several games where we dropped points late.
Right. Right.
Because of injury or tiredness or a lapse.
Patterns I don't understand. But why?
Well, specifically, I mean, not even just, all of our games in general, but specifically those games against Philadelphia. You're talking about you swing one of those results the other way, and we swap positions.
Right.
So I like that. All right. I'm good. Cincinnati deserved that supporter shield, and we gave it to Philadelphia. I'm here.
There you go.
I'm not gonna but think about games how we drop points and shouldn't have, right? How many times do we lose in extra time, or we lose at the 90th minute, where we're giving them points to take that? We gave it away.
Yeah.
So that brings up a very important question in my mind. If FC Cincinnati loses in the first round, is Noonan out? Is he the Marvin Lewis? Right. Okay. So there's lots of people on social media. I'm not going to name the social media platforms, but we all know who we're talking about. There's a small minority of people who are like,
on Tumblr.
Well, I was going to say other things, but I don't want to get in trouble.
Sorry, that's where my Noonan fanfic
is. There's this Noonan out nonsense. We finished. If we win, we'll finish, a couple of points behind the Shield winner, 65 points, the third playoff in a row. But if we lose in the first round, is his job in jeopardy?
If we lose in the first round, I think that Noonan should be out. I mean, I don't necessarily want him out, but I think that if you lose in that first round for a second season in a row, it's not even a matter of, Noonan can't win big games. I don't think that's true. But I think that you have to look at FC Cincinnati's body of work this year and even last year, the amount of money that has been, put into this product for us to be grinding out one goal, dramatic wins. I think that, I don't know where Albright stands. Obviously him and Noonan are close. This might be the plan that Albright wants. Carl Linder, probably, he might be looking at it saying, where's all this money going, if not to 3-goal wins? Specifically when you're investing in guys like Kevin Danke, you're bringing, Brenner back in, and you kept Orishano. I don't necessarily, I straight up, I don't want Noonan out because he gets results and I see what he's, going after. But I think there's a chance that he does find himself, outside of the organization if they drop games in that first round again.
Your vibes are cool, but your dark vibes are really cool. So is Noonan out if he loses in the first round?
I'm not sure I want to talk anymore. No. No. I think maybe the seat gets a little hotter for next season, but I do not think he's out on this one. The question, I think, becomes more on either on or from Albright saying, we spent this money. We have what most people would say is the best roster in the league. Why are we not producing? And I think that's where you start seeing some changes. And it's not going to be Noonan first. It'll start with assistants or keeper coaches or skill positions, whatever it may be. But I don't think Noonan's out. Now, should he be out? Maybe a different question, right?
So we're opposite because I'm saying he'll be out but shouldn't be. You're saying...
I'm saying, the problem is, in my mind, you've had the same tactics now for, 4 years, basically? And this tactic started because you didn't have the ability to play anything else. And then we settled into this formation and to these offensive tactics. If you went back to the beginning of the year and you said, I'm giving you Brenner, I'm giving you Dinke, I'm giving you Evander, I'm giving you Orishano, but you're going to have a hard time scoring consistently, everyone looked at you and said, you're nuts. There's no way. The problem is that's been our downfall, has been our lack of ability to score goals.
Yeah. We are the lowest, or certainly among the lowest, goal-scoring teams that are in the playoffs right now. I was looking at this a while back, our expected goals have been abysmal. And that's, make what you want of the expected goal statistic, but switching off my vibes here for where I actually went and did some research a little bit. Your MLS Cup winner, as long as they've tracked this metric, so going back to, I believe, 2018, your MLS Cup winner has all but once been in the top 3 of expected goals. People who create opportunities. FC Cincinnati, as of right now, and this is off the top of my head from when I looked it up 3 weeks ago, they are in about 17th place in expected goals. And they're not generating any real chances. Now, you have players like Evander who they score anyway. So, how much do you make of that? But,
I would counter that it's unbelievable, but I believe it's true. I've been saying this for some time, is that Obi is the offensive glue that makes this team work. The transition from defense to offense, Brian Anunga plays like Obi did 3 years ago, was fantastic on the ball, destroyer when you look a picture of destroyer, you see Obi, but then you would not let Obi take a shot. You would not let Obi make any serious passes. Having Evander have to come further and further back, like Lucho had to come further and further back, that throws a huge crimp in offense, and it puts strain on the defense. And quite frankly, the one thing that they've noticed since Game 1 of this season is if you press us, somebody's going to make a bad pass. I saw Nunga made a lot of bad passes. I've seen Buka occasionally make a bad pass. I've seen Powell make a lot of bad passes. As good as he plays some awesome defense and saves goals, but then he makes the dumbest passes in the midfield that prevents us from moving up. We've got some speedy guys. We didn't have speed. Now we do have speed, and now we're not getting the ball in those open spaces for them to get them. If teams are parking the bus, we have no idea on what to do to pull them out or take shots or anything. So there's some things there that are structural. There are some things there from injuries. I think Noonan is back next year because we've had more than enough injuries that would keep a cohesive thing. When was the last time you just went, oh, we know what the starting 11 is? I mean,
I don't think we've done
every week I would go as soon as the lineups came out, I was going to look at it because I had no idea who's going to be in, no idea who's going to be out, and who's playing out of position. Because not only have we been playing in and out, right? Alvis Powell should not be playing wing back. But Engel should not be playing center back. That's not what we brought him in for. So it's these types of things that are very interesting. So let's get back on it. So the consensus is Noonan is in. So Noonan out, people. If we win the first round, I don't see any reason why they would get rid of him after that.
If we win the first round, it's a non-conversation anyway.
Okay, so that would put number 1 Philadelphia against number 5 New York City.
So Philadelphia versus New York City. So then at this point, we're in single elimination.
Yeah.
Full extra time,
At
4
Philly.
PKs.
Yes, at Philly.
It's... Gosh, that is a tough one, though. Because, again, I mean, New York is just such a frustrating team to play.
I thought Philadelphia scored so many goals at the death this year. I felt like they scored like 2 goals on New York City at the end of regulation or in extra time to beat New York City a few weeks ago. But my brain's a little foggy on that. But yes, this is a 1 game, so it's in Philadelphia. So
Well, I got overruled, but I said in the last round that I think the magic of Philadelphia runs out. The committee has Philadelphia advancing, but I will hold fast and say their magic is ending, and New York, in this scenario,
flops to the
will
next
topple
round.
it. They flop right into the next round.
So there's he's got New York City. So go ahead.
I'm going with Philly. I'm taking Philly. I think Philly at home with those fans and that in Subaru Park. I think it's Philly.
You know, you talked me out of it the first time. You're not talking me out of it twice. I think between the Shield thing and New York City just being New York City, as much as I don't want to see them either, I'm going to say New York City. So then that puts us at FC Cincinnati at Inter Miami at T-Cole Stadium.
This is the game. In my opinion, this is the game.
Oh, yeah.
Above all the other ones, right? This is the one who's going to determine who goes.
Last time Miami played, they lost here 3-1.
They lost here last year
time.
as well.
Right.
That's correct. 6-0 without Messi. But that was 3-1 with Messi.
Yeah. And I think that we take them. I mean, I like it's as intimidating as Miami is. I mean,
Are they though?
I think they. I would.
I mean,
just
to the team.
Sorry, I forgot to say my vibes are switched
No, but
back.
no, I just mean to.
No, but that's what I'm saying is I think as intimidating as Miami, is in general, I think that FC Cincinnati plays them very well. I don't think FC Cincinnati gives a crap about Miami, and I think that we can handle them pretty well. I mean, with who we've got on the field versus them on their walkers with tennis balls on the bottom. I mean, I like our chances at continuing to beat them, certainly at home.
I fully believe that Messi magic or Messi mania or whatever you want to call it has run out. Okay, I don't believe it's the draw it was last year. I don't believe that any team, not just FC Cincinnati, is intimidated by it anymore. They've seen it. They've played against it. They know what it is. FC Cincinnati has a history of beating Miami and Cincinnati. And if that's where it comes to and we're in Cincinnati, FC Cincinnati wins. Not saying it's not going to be tight. It'll be tight. It'll be another nail biter that we all have. But I believe FC Cincinnati wins.
What if we go to penalty shootout with them?
I still think we win in Cincinnati. As long as we get the Bailey on the coin flip, right?
Yeah.
So all sports comes down to matchups. We don't like to play Philadelphia because of a matchup. We really don't like to play Charlotte for some reason because of their matchups. But then we love playing Nashville because of the matchups. I think we match up very well with Inter Miami. A couple years ago, I was in Miami. Messi came into game. They lost. We beat them there. We can beat them there. We can beat them here. We can beat them in Pittsburgh. We can beat them anywhere on the planet. I don't see this being a problem. You got to remember that these are 37, 38, 39-year-old men playing their 50th game of the season, and some of them have been coming back from injury and still kind of limping around. I don't see Miami beating this team. I think it's probably going to be, as you said, the game of the year. I think that's going to be the whole game of the playoffs. So that puts us into, because of my overrule, New York City, FC Cincinnati at Tico Stadium.
I don't want to say it.
Well, go ahead. No, you have to say it. This is a podcast. It's not a mime show.
I just. All right. So I love this team. All right. I rep this team as hard or harder than anybody else. I think FC Cincinnati versus New York City conference finals at that point. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we lose.
Okay.
I've said it the entire way. I think New York City is just so incredibly frustrating to play. They have frustrated us time and again, it feels like. I don't like our chances of that. I think that our best bet is to get through to a penalty shootout against them, at which point I would say I think we take that. But I think they flop their way right into the
we played
there.
poorly at their place, and they did, I think, beat us like 2-1. It was like a late goal.
Right.
One of those defensive lapses that I think their first goal was a counter, was a stupid counter, and I think the second goal was a late goal where it was like the 89th minute, and we should have gone to the flag or just held possession, but we went for the second goal, right? There's a time in the second half where you go for a goal, and there's a time in the second half where you just say, let's just play keep away. I would love to bring the Ole chant to Cincinnati when we're up a goal and it's the 90th minute and we're just passing the ball around, but this team doesn't do that. Anyhow, I've interjected. New York City.
To me, the question is, do we have everybody back?
By this point, it's a month. It's a month out.
We have everyone back.
Yes.
We win.
Yeah.
Now, it's going to be the same New York City game you play all the time, right? Rough and tumble, low scoring. They're flopping. We're getting mad. Somebody's in Miazga's head. He tries to go at somebody. I mean,
he throws some pizza at him.
Right. We've seen this time and time again, right? Like, we know how this works out. But I think being in Cincinnati that close with this team, because I think Evander is mentally stronger than Lucho was. I think if Miazga's healthy back, he's controlling that back line, which obviously we need. I think we win.
Agreed. So we win that one. But alternate reality world or real reality world, depending on what your thoughts are, Cincinnati wins out, Philadelphia wins out, FC Cincinnati at Philadelphia for the cup.
Can I go first?
Yeah.
I said in the very beginning, I think we can beat Philly. I'm not worried about Philly. I think we can match up with Philly really well, especially if we have everyone back. And I think we beat Philly.
I agree. I mean, I know that sounds weird, but it's just New York has their own.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to the cup this year. That's what this panel has decided. So that gives us one last question, because we're not going to go through the Western Conference. We would bore everybody. Who do you think FC Cincinnati plays in the cup? Because that kind of determines where it's at. And how do we do it? So let's just do a quick fire. Not overly thinking. FC Cincinnati versus LAFC. Win or lose?
Win.
Here, win.
Here, win. In LA.
Lose.
Okay. I don't see why playing in LA would be any different than playing here. We're playing the same team. Last time we played in LA, we played very well.
Yeah,
and it was with a lesser team.
Everyone played well against the Galaxy this year.
No, well, I'm talking about LAFC. Last time we played in LAFC, yeah, everybody plays.
I just think the uncomfortability of being there in the travel time, I think it's a hindrance.
I don't think I think hold on, let me go to the West. Sorry, guys.
If it's Vancouver?
I think LAFC can't. Well, no, they can't. So we play LAFC. They're playing here,
Right.
so we
They
win.
could jump us. On decision day, they could jump us.
If we lose,
Well,
and
yeah.
they win.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. This is still under the assumption
62.
we win.
They're at 59.
Okay, this
so,
is assuming we win. Okay,
Right.
I gotcha. I gotcha.
yeah. So then we could go Minnesota, but let's just go with the top three. San Diego. I've not even seen them play, so I can't even answer. But I would say FC Cincinnati, because it would be at home.
I say win. An expansion team's not allowed to have that much joy. Not after what we endured. That's our 10-year arc right there. All right? That's our 10-year arc. All right.
Back.
We come off of 3 wooden spoons when we joined the league, and we shut down the latest expansion team's bid
The
to
new
win the
hotness.
cup. I'm here for it. That's
The stories write themselves, ladies and gentlemen. So lastly, Vancouver, who actually, if they win and actually ties Philadelphia on points, it's wins, I think, that prevents them from, or maybe it's not. I don't know. It's like some weird third tiebreaker, even though Vancouver beat Philadelphia like 7-1 or something ridiculous like that. Vancouver the head-to-head doesn't come into play. That's why they didn't win the Shield. But so it's Vancouver. At this point, it would be in Vancouver.
That's
So
turf,
December, Vancouver in December. I don't know if they play in a dome or not.
I think it's turf, and that's going to make a difference on how the ball rolls, how the touches go, where the runs come from.
Thomas Mueller, who we wanted.
That would be sweet justice.
I think if FCC gets to the Cup final at all, I think they win. Whoever they're playing, I think if they get there, they win.
There you go.
And if it's Vancouver, then yeah, all right. I think we beat them. I think that we rub it in old Thomas's face that he went to the wrong town. But
Reluctantly, I'll go with Cincinnati.
Yeah, I think at this point,
All right.
we're probably homers, but it doesn't really matter because this is the fun part of the season. We've made the playoffs. We're high up. There was a lot of exciting moments. That goal by Denke last game was a banger.
yeah,
Was an absolute banger. So we've had lots of absolute bangers with this team, particularly the last couple of years. So why not get a star? And guess what? That's one less thing I have to hear from fans up north. It's like, oh, you don't have one. We have one now. Well, you don't have enough. You don't have 3. Like, I don't care. We have one. You have one. Who cares? So I say, break out your piggy banks. You're buying tickets to the Cup for Christmas. And I'm a meteorology buff. It's could be cold. If it's in December, there could possibly be snow in Cincinnati. So it's a little early. I think we're probably not going to get snow until January, but fun. Would you like to watch soccer in the snow flurries?
absolutely, I would. I am here for it so much. Get us on the winter schedule already. I want games in the snow. I want us to be that team. We wouldn't be that team. We play a bunch of Canadian teams in Minnesota. I want us to be a team that the West Coast and the Florida teams are scared to come up to because it's going to be 20 degrees and maybe snowing.
I didn't know you were a fan of orange balls.
No comment.
Well, I think that's about all the time that we have here. It's been such a great conversation. Hopefully, people out in FCC land will love this and make a bunch of comments about who they think we're going to play and all the other fun things. Do you have any final comments before we leave?
Just happy to have been invited to do this. Super excited to see what FC Cincinnati does. Like I said, I rep this team just as hard as anyone, and I think that they certainly have the ability to go all the way. Can't wait to be there when they do.
Rusty?
Make sure everyone gets to the stadium. no matter how many games we have playoff-wise, we need to be loud. We make a difference. The players will tell you we make a difference. Even if it's cold and snowy and 4 feet of snow on the ground, and we're playing in a polar bowl of soccer, get there.
Learn your chance, baby. We're gonna. I would love to see a bunch of people blowing bubbles after a goal in December in the cold, and it just kind of freezes halfway down. That would be an awesome sight. I mean, maybe we have to get some. If it's in December and it's the cup, maybe we get the what you put on trees, those icicle things. Not garland, the other thing, the silver things. And we'll throw silver streamers throughout the stands instead of bubbles for the MLS Cup if they'll allow us.
You might be showing your age with that one.
Yeah. Matt is old. News at 11. Well, that's just about all the time we have here at FCC Supporter Square. I am your host, Matt Warman, and hopefully we're going to be talking about playoff wins in the coming weeks. See you then.